Welcome to VDG Sports. I am your host, Vince Douglas Gregory. Why is it so easy, so simple to want to compare NBA basketball eras against each other when we know it's difficult, to say the least, to compare the eras against each other? The rules change. The rules are not the same if you go from one era to another era. One era didn't have a shot clock. Another era didn't have a three-point line. Another era, you could hand check basically all the way down the court. Then the three-point line got moved. Then it got moved back. There's so many different tweaks to the system. And I'd argue the NBA would be the most difficult league to compare eras, especially when the league itself is at the forefront of change, at the forefront of changing the game as time change. There's not a tradition. There's not an old man yelling at cloud and say, this is the way things used to be. Let's continue doing things that way. The NBA is the opposite. The NBA is, okay, how can we make this better? How can we make this different? How can we keep growing, keep entertaining the fans? There's more to basketball than just basketball. But we like to compare the eras when there's so many different signs, so many different indicators, so many different variables that can tell us, that can explain to us that trying to compare these eras, trying to do this is a fool's errand. Foolish. Wrong. It is just talking to hear yourself talk. Basically, spitting in the wind, thinking you're not going to get hit. Spitting in the wind, thinking that you're not going to get hit because you're protected, because it is your own spit. And your own spit isn't going to come back and hit you in the face because it's you and your body. It's a thought. It's thinking. That don't mean it's right. That doesn't mean it's accurate. And then I can't say that I have not contributed to this, because I have. Wishing and wanting to think of the different eras and putting them up against each other. But if you're being honest, and if you are actually wanting to truly compare the eras, the data is there, sure. The numbers are there, okay. But the stories behind the number, the stories behind the data, the stories of the era is missing. If you can account for that, okay, let's do it. Let's compare, let's contrast, let's pro, let's con. Let's do what it do. We're not getting any younger, but that's not the case. And of all sports, the one that changes more often than not is looked upon as a good benchmark to compare and contrast eras. Make that make sense, other than you're just wanting to hear yourself think out loud amongst other people thinking out loud about a sport that you hold true, near, and dear to your heart. I can rock with that. I can get behind that. I can support it. If we're being honest about the situation itself when it comes to comparing eras. What do you think? Do you think that the National Basketball Association is the hardest sport to try to compare errors? Do you think it's easy to compare errors? Do you think that there is some magic stat, some magic statistic out there that can help explain the different errors when comparing and contrasting them against each other? What do you think? You know what to do. Do it.